Enemy MOAB incoming.
Hey guys and girls, how you all doing? It's Kirsty, as usual, with another gameplay commentary. And we're playing on Bakara today. A little bit of domination. I think this might be 6-man, but don't quote me. This is a random video out of my collection, I meant to actually say. But I'm actually not going to talk about the gameplay today. I do have something a little bit special to talk about, which is this is actually my 100th video. I know, that's pretty ridiculous. And I actually didn't realise that I was that close to my 100th video until I went and posted my 99th. Which wasn't really that long ago, so it didn't give me that much time to really think of anything too special. But I did want to make it something a bit unique that we haven't actually done before, so I wanted to do an actual proper Q&A. Yes, I know, I do the whole Q&A without the Q sort of segment, which yes, I haven't actually done in about 2 weeks, so I will get onto that. But I did think in the meantime, I'd get on Twitter and ask all of you guys on Twitter what questions you'd like to sort of ask me for me to answer in this Q&A. And I got a whole bunch of great responses, so thanks so much for all of you guys that did actually ask me questions. That was awesome. And for any of you other guys who wanted to ask me questions but actually didn't, then you might want to actually follow me on Twitter to sort of get involved in these sort of conversations, if that's, you know, what you want to do anyway. Because I definitely use Twitter a lot and I do spend quite a bit of time talking on there. So anyway guys, let's actually get on to this. The first question, which was from a guy named Anton, and the question is, what got you into gaming? Alright, well what got me into gaming is, well, I played as a kid, but I'm actually going to leave that to the next question because it's a little bit related to the next question. But the whole reason I started actually playing again was that I was involved in a pretty serious car accident where I was actually ran off the road by a semi-trailer. It was like a road rage incident, so this guy purposefully tried to kill me. Don't know who this guy is to this day, just random person, obviously quite high on drugs, and I was just a, unlucky person who was really in his way. So, you know, long story short, I was sort of a little bit depressed and shitty with the world after that, and, you know, quite injured as well, so I needed something to do. We'd just gotten a new gaming PC. Well, it wasn't specifically for gaming at the time, it just had those capabilities. So, you know, I got on and started downloading games and stuff and was, really hooked, honestly. Because once you have a car accident like that, you really don't have, you know, much sort of better things to do while you're sort of recovering. Alright, the next question that sort of links into this is how I got into COD 4 and my favourite childhood games. This is actually from a guy named Host Pro, and all of these guys, their name will come up on the screen and there'll be a little link to them or their channels, the guys that do have channels anyway. So like I said, favourite childhood games. I actually had quite a lot of systems when I was a little kid, and this is probably actually going to go back and show you just how old I am. We actually had a Sega Master System, we had a Nintendo Entertainment System, we had a Super Nintendo, we had a Nintendo 64. This was at all different times in my life. So, you know, I had a lot of games. When I was really little, my favourite was always Mario. I don't know, I had this sick Mario obsession for ages. And the other thing I loved was Alex the Kid. But I was pretty little when all this was going on, you know what I mean? So it was sort of acceptable to be into those sort of games. I don't know, just a lot of platformer games because that was really all that was around at that time. And of course, COD 4, how I got into COD 4 was, like I said, the whole car accident thing. COD 4 was out at the time. And I don't know, I just needed somewhere to take out my frustration. And COD 4 seemed to really do that. Alright, on to the next question. That MVP guy wrote, favourite position to play COD. Smart ass. I knew I'd get a question like this, and actually that one is pretty funny. Alright, so favourite position. I don't know, doggy 69? No, I'm just fucking around. I'm not going to say anything like that in front of the various children that are probably watching this video. Favourite position to play COD. I think all of you guys know that I do like to play Slayer. That is really my favourite thing to do. I love to just run around and get gun kills. And sort of keep the enemy in their spawn and make it very difficult for them to actually capture anything at all. It is a little bit disheartening when you can't actually get out of your spawn. So who wants to go and run on B flag? If, you know, you can't get out of your spawn without being shot in your back by some dumb bitch called Gunja Girl. Which is me, by the way, if any of you guys don't know. That's my PSN nickname. Alright, my next question was actually asked by two separate people, and that was Clark Factor and King of MOABs, which is if I could go to a different country or live in a different country, which one would it actually be? And this was a really difficult question because I actually really enjoy living in Australia. I know that we have it extremely good here, and I know that that's not the case in a hell of a lot of other countries. You know, we have free healthcare and assistance from the government in a lot of different situations that a lot of other countries just don't do. But I would really like to at least go to the US, if not live there, just because, I don't know, it's always been the sort of place that everyone talks about with all these opportunities and this, that and the other. And even when it comes to gaming, there's so many competitions and things like that that we just don't have here in Australia. It's a pretty common thing. There's a lot of things that, you know, we don't sort of, you know, have because we don't have as many people, especially in relation to gaming and more sort of specific hobbies like that, just because we don't have enough people doing them. Alright, question from Mega Lamb Chops was, why did I start YouTube? And I can tell you pretty damn honestly, it was the gameplays. It was really the gameplays that brought me to YouTube. I was getting some pretty decent gameplays all the time, and at the time, the PS3 Theatre Vault had some sort of issue where you try to save a gameplay, and then magically you just couldn't play it again. And by the time I actually realised it had this problem, I had an entire vault full of MOAB gameplays. So, you know, it sort of pissed me off a little bit. And I must admit, the boyfriend probably got sick of hearing about it, so he actually went out and bought me a PVR. So that's what I mean. My main goal in the first place was just to bring other people on YouTube these gameplays. I wasn't really that interested in commentating at all. I was actually a little bit scared of commentating. It has grown on me in the meantime, I will admit, but it was definitely the more difficult thing of the two of them in terms of playing the game or commentating. I was really playing the game that I did enjoy the most. Alright, next question. This was another question that was asked by two people once again, and they were Clark Factor and Anton. And the question was, what is it like being a female on YouTube? And sorry guys, I must say that it's probably not very different to actually being a male on YouTube, apart from the sort of insults you get might be a little bit more different, more based around being a slut or a whore or, you know, making sandwiches, as opposed to, you know, when you're a guy you're more of an asshole or a faggot when, you know, people sort of troll you. But I don't think there is a real massive difference, honestly, and of course I always get those sort of stupid kids who assume that I'm some 12-year-old little boy and want to make nasty comments about my squeaky voice. Which honestly, the joke's on them, because my voice ain't ever going to get any deeper. But I actually quite like it. It is, I must admit, it does make it a lot easier than what it is on some of you guys. Just that there aren't as many of us girls on YouTube in the video game community. So it does, I suppose, make you a little bit more memorable to other people, which is definitely useful when it comes to actually building your own channel. So I definitely can't complain. I don't know, I find that especially all the other commentators, I get treated really well by everyone. So it is great. And the last question, which was asked by Mega Lamb Chops, which was, who are my favourite YouTubers? And this could probably be a pretty long question to answer if I'm really going to get into it, but I will tell you some of my favourites, and it has always been Sandy Ravage. He was always my biggest, most main inspiration for getting onto YouTube and sort of playing the way that I do in general, this rush happy sort of style. But when it comes to actual commentary, there are a couple of people that I just adore, and one of them is Serious Drama. He's honestly my favourite commentator of all time. I actually prefer listening to him than what I prefer listening to Woody's Game Attack. I know, sounds strange, doesn't it? I love that guy. But unfortunately, he's just let us know that he's going to be quitting YouTube just because, you know, he's having another child, so I do understand. Another few of my favourites is, I love I Am The Attack. I think he's goddamn hilarious. And yeah, I'll probably just leave it at that for now. There are quite a lot of guys, but we don't have much time. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed this Q&A session. Bye.
Transform garbage into art.